Hey guys, Luis Moreno here, Simply Health Insurance Agency. I've got Phil from Allstate Health Solutions. Phil, thank you for being on today.
Appreciate you, Lewis. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. I'm Phil Mishler. I'm your company representative for the Allstate under 65 products. We're here today to go through our supplemental products that pair well with Affordable Care Act individual plans. Lewis, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here.
Yeah, and let me tell you guys, before he jumps in, when you do an ACA plan, guys, you've got to cross-sell 2 additional products. You can cross-sell as many as you want, but the 2 that I consider crucial because they're not covered with your ACA plan is going to be dental and vision. Okay, you've got to do a separate product for that. And in addition, and this is what Phil's gonna talk about today, is when you do an ACA plan, you're going to have an out-of-pocket maximum. Okay, there's a deductible. That deductible is built into the out-of-pocket max, and the insureds are going to be responsible for that when they go to the hospital. Okay, that's the biggest time, that is the time when they're going to be on the hook for it. So I like to know what that amount is when you do the application and you process it. You're going to know what that max out-of-pocket is. Then what you need to do is you need to pair it up with the products that Phil's going to talk about here, because these insureds normally do not have that money. Secondly, if they do have it, they don't usually have it earmarked to use for these kinds of expenses. But normally they don't have the money. So I pair this product up with that. I ask them, hey, how are you going to take care of this maximum out of pocket? Usually they're like, I don't know. Hey, awesome. But I have a solution. A lot of my clients have this, and let me present it to you. And that's what Phil is going to discuss right now. Phil, take it over, man.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for the lead up there. To quote our products, once you folks get appointed, we're going to grant you access to our agent back office. Wait, I just hit the wrong button. Hold on a second. When you get appointed, if you're not already, you'll be logging into our agent back office. This is what you're looking at here, and you can see your customers' policies and a lot of other useful information. But you're just going to click quote and enroll. And this is one of the easiest websites I've seen in my lifetime in this business. So we do offer any day effective dates. Any day of the month is good to start coverage. But for our example today, I'll just do the 1st of April. And today we're going to be quoting in the state of Texas. And let's see, we're going to quote somebody who is...
Young guy. Put 71. There
71. Okay.
71.
All right. I'm going to do female. You're not a sexist, right? We can do
no,
female.
not at all.
All right. All right. So you'll see all the products that we have here on the left-hand side, and many of these are very good for gapping a individual ACA plan. So we're going to start with accident. The accident does require your customer to answer this tobacco question. So for today, I'm just going to check it no. That's going to allow these rates to populate here. So the plan is called Plan Enhancer. Plan Enhancer is an accident plan. It's an accident plan with all of these benefit levels here, anywhere from $2,500 per accident. And of course, we have some higher amounts that would pair well with an individual ACA plan, $9,500. I know the out-of-pockets are approaching $10,000 on some of the bronze plans. And then you can get all the way up to $17,500 per accident. And if you look here to the left, you're going to see that this is your deductible as a customer. So in the first year, your deductible for accidents is $250. It reduces over time. So if your client were to keep this plan 3 years, which hopefully they will, the accident deductible will go down to 0. So what's really cool about the Plan Enhancer, though, is, so let's just pretend that the customer has a $5,000 out of pocket. So we're going to go ahead and select the $5,000 accident benefit. And it's important to note that the $5,000 is per accident. unlimited accidents that your client can have and take advantage of it. But what's really cool about the plan enhancer is it comes with 2 riders. The first rider, so some of you might not know what CHS stands for. CHS stands for cancer, heart, and stroke. So you can get the plan enhancer accident. Okay, in this case, I picked 5,000. And in the case that the customer is diagnosed with a first ever diagnosis of cancer, heart, or stroke, we will pay that $5,000 out to your customer on diagnosis, not treatment. So as soon as they can prove they have that diagnosis, we're rolling forward with it. The other thing that Plan Enhancer offers is a sickness hospitalization rider. So once per year, if your customer is hurt or sick and they're hospitalized, they get that same $5,000 to help them towards whatever their bills are. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and select that I want both. And I'm going to click add. And then you'll see in the cart here that they have a $5,000 benefit. AME stands for accident medical expense. So this particular customer has a $5,000 per accident. They get $5,000 for cancer, heart, stroke, and they get $5,000 if they get hurt and sick and they're hospitalized. What's awesome about Plan Enhancer is it is guarantee issue. If your customer breathes air and they have a credit card or a bank account, they can have this. It's a super easy application. Just for our purposes today, I'm going to just quickly click apply. We're not going to go through the whole application, but folks, this is literally a 5-minute application. They're going to ask this replacement question. I can skip ahead here. They're going to ask, who are you? And then they're going to ask, where do you live? And your phone number, which is here. Then they're going to ask you, how do you want to pay for this? And then you're going to sign. So this is 5 minutes, folks. So if you're producing individual ACA type plans, let me just put this down. This is a very easy way to add a very powerful benefit to the package for your customer. So I have a brochure here. We're not going to go through the whole brochure, but I did want to show you what's in the brochure. So it does. There's an illustration here reminding the customer that the deductible for the accident decreases year over year, eventually going to 0. The ground ambulance is a benefit that raises every year. So in year 1, they get a $300 ambulance benefit, and then it rises all the way to $900 by year 3. And then the durable medical equipment, also known as DME, raises from 100 and then it doubles to 200 for year 3 and beyond. And in the brochure, it's going to let you know things like, hey, there's a 90-day waiting period for cancer and a 30-day waiting period for heart and stroke. It's going to give you the issue ages here in the brochure, and then it's going to speak to the sickness hospitalization benefit. So that's a quick overview of the Plan Enhancer. Let me get out.
So I'm going to hit you with a couple of questions, man. These are
yes,
common
sir.
questions I get from my agents. Number one,
okay.
You said anybody can apply as long as they're breathing. Do
yes.
they have to be U.S. citizens?
No, I forgot that point. Thank you, Lewis. You're good. You're a good man. We will take anyone who is in this country legally. There is no requirement to have a social security number, a green card, some other form of a number that's like a social security number that they give to folks who weren't born here. Everyone's eligible if they're in the country legally. They just have to check the box that they're here, and that's it. So then we don't even need a social security number. We'll just do this very easy. Did you have another question on the Plan Enhancer?
I've got a couple. Okay, so if we've got a family, mom, dad, and a couple of kids under 18.
Yes.
They can only get the accident, but am I correct that they cannot get the hospital or the cancer, heart attack, and stroke?
That's correct. So the cancer, heart, and stroke piece is available for people who are 18 to 64. So that's going to preclude dependent children. It's only for the primary insured and spouse for these two benefits, but the children do get the accident benefit, because you can see here there is no the minimum age, they have to be they have to be over 60 days old to be eligible, but
Okay.
to be on a standalone policy.
Okay. So if you're going to do mom, dad, and 2 kids, only do the accident if they're interested in the cancer, heart attack, and stroke plan, or the sickness hospitalization, then you're just going to have to only insure the parents. Right?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
That's correct.
The accident. Let's talk about benefits. Okay. On the accident side of things, it's a reimbursement. They don't write out a check for the benefit amount.
That is correct. Right. So there is no network that they must use. All they have to do, we have a website where they can pull down a claim form. They staple an itemized receipt to the claim form, drop it in the mail. The website is allstatehealth.com.
Okay. Beautiful. And then as far as the cancer and the cancer and heart stroke and the sickness hospitalization, 24 hours for the hospitalization, right?
That is correct. Yes. So if your customer must be admitted to the hospital, and they have to be in there for a minimum of 24 hours. If they're in there under observation or they're not admitted, it isn't going to pay out.
Okay. All right. And then the final thing is, what are some of the common exclusions?
Okay, well, let's use the brochure. I got the brochure right here. So this is page 4. So if you go to allstatehealth.com, you can pull down this brochure, and you could read this further on your own. But let's see here. So what are the things that are most important here? So we're not going to pay for dental treatments unless somebody punches your client in the mouth, and I hope that doesn't happen. You have here these conditions here. They're kind of, I guess the best one might be tennis elbow. We're not gonna cover tennis elbow, hernia or heat exhaustion, a cosmetic treatments, right? That's something that even an ACA plan's not going to cover.
Right.
Last time I checked. So let's see here. This is a real common one. We won't cover treatment by immediate family member, any amount in excess of the maximum benefit. So that's a good time to pause here and say, if your customer buys a $5,000 benefit for accident and they have a $4,000 accident, they're getting the lower of the two amounts. It's not, you're not going to actually make money on the accident payout. You might make money if your $4,000 accident is higher than what your ACA out of pocket is.
Right.
But and hopefully that makes sense to the group. Let's see. Treatment outside of the United States is not covered. Okay. And then these are specific to accidental injury, AD&D, an accident that occurred before the effective date, participation in the military, active war. I mean, they're pretty common, folks. Voluntary use of alcohol or controlled substance. It won't cover something if you hurt yourself committing a felony. It's just we can't do that. Okay, so there's quite a few limitations here. Hazardous activities. So part of being an agent, and you folks know this, and it's a little bit more work than you would do on an ACA policy. If you haven't already, you need to read the brochure, and you need to read it cover to cover, and you need to give your client a heads up on some of these things, like, hey, it's not going to cover pre-existing condition unless it's a first ever diagnosis, right? Let's see here. So hazardous activities, if you got a customer that's, just very small print here, parachute jumping, hang gliding, bungee jumping, spelunking, cave exploration, parkour, intercollegiate sports. We do cover, so intercollegiate is a college sport. So on the accident side, we will cover non-collegiate sports. So high school, grade school, we would actually pay out for accidents that happen, but not for college. Okay. The cancer, heart, and stroke has its own exclusion. So we just finished the the accident exclusions, and then the cancer, heart, stroke has its own exclusion here, right? So let's see. So there's a lot about pre-existing conditions. So if your customer has ongoing conditions, this isn't why you're selling them this plan. This plan is for things that occur after they make the purchase.
Gotcha.
And then there's the sickness hospitalization exclusion. So, this is quite a bit, but I can tell you for sure, I wouldn't work for the company if we didn't pay claims. So we are going to pay valid claims that are that don't match up with what you have on these pages back here.
Gotcha. Beautiful. And I
Well,
will tell you guys, from my point as an agent, we wrote over 1,700 new business applications or new enrollments to ACA this past open enrollment. And this is the plan that we offer. We want to offer the plan enhancer. But I did ask Phil, I had one of the agents asking us about the hospital plan, which are we going to head in that direction now, Phil?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let's take a look at that. This is another option for your insurance.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is important, but it's just quick to mention, if you see in the card here, there is a list build checkbox. We will, with a minimum of 2 people taking it, we will offer this in an employer group or an association if you ever run into one of them. But let's go over. So, all right. So the next thing you want to talk about is the hospital expense protection. Is that correct?
Yes.
So it's a bit hidden. So first thing you got to do is click on a fixed benefit indemnity tab here on the left. The first product that's going to come up is the access plan. And just because we're looking at it, I just want to quickly tell you, this is a permanent health insurance plan to cover your customer all the way to age 65. It never has rate increases. Where it falls down a little bit is, if you go in the hospital, it's only going to pay about up to $6,000 a day. So, if you were at a hospital in Texas that might cost $10,000, you'd be a little underinsured. But I do like it if you could get the price down low enough on the value plan. This would pay cash on top of any other type of health coverage for a variety of things: hospitalization, office visits, prescription, outpatient surgery. But it's a little light when you're inpatient. Now, you scroll below that, you get into the hospital expense protection plan. Okay. And what happens with this is going to be cash, very similar to the sickness hospitalization that we just talked about. It is going to be cash once per year if your customer is hurt and sick and hospitalized. They got to be in for 24 hours. I did print a brochure, which is going to be a little easier on your eyeballs than the quoting website. So as you can see, we have plans from A through F. The real difference between these plans is A, B, and C gives your customer these lump sums once per year. So $1,500, $3,000, or $5,000 once per year, plus $150 a day for the first 31 days on these 2 plans, either for sickness or injury. Okay. Now, what's cool about the hospital expense protection is it actually has an observation on actually all of these do. So I want to go back and say, I said your customer has to be in for 24 hours. They have to be in for 24 hours to realize these benefits up here. But if they're just in for observation, we actually kick them this benefit that you can see right here. Okay. And then some of these plans offer ground ambulance. And then this is an amazing benefit. If you live in a rural area or you've ever had somebody that needed to be medically evacuated by air, all of these plans cough up a $25,000 benefit for air ambulance. So again, if you've ever had a friend or a loved one get medically evacuated, it's crazy expensive. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I
just had an article that I read, Phil, $81,000 for a helicopter ride. It was an hour away.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's and in most cases they're medically evacuating you to save your life. And it would be nice to get a break on that cost. So the main difference between the base plans and the max plans is that the max plans offer a reimbursement for office visits at $75 2 times a year. And you'll see that they'll kick your customer cash for x-rays and lab work. So that's the real difference. So I like Plan C because it pays out the most. It doesn't have those extra benefits I just mentioned, but let's take a look at the price. So for this person, Plan C, they could get Plan C for $30.75. It's important to note that these prices never go up. They've been the same the whole time that we've been offering these products. But it is important to know we reserve the right to raise the rates. We just never have. And in most cases, specific to the plan enhancer, over the years, we've actually lowered the rates. So this is a great way to get coverage for your customer whose main fear is my biggest. I'm not worried about accidents. Like, this is a particular customer. I'm not worried about accidents. I don't have a family history of cancer. But the thing that's going to drive me to hit my out-of-pocket on my ACA plan is going to be a visit to the hospital where I'm admitted, where I got something seriously wrong with me, right? And if you think about it, now, God forbid, let's just use yourself as the example. Just pretend you're laying on the floor in your living room and you've had a medical emergency and you're on the floor. The very first thing you're going to think of is, am I going to live? Right? And once you determine that you're going to live, right? Because if you're not going to live, it doesn't matter if you buy supplemental insurance. The second thing you're going to think of is, how much is this going to cost me? Right? So this product answers that question, right? So when you're laying on the floor and the blue and red lights are flashing around your living room because the ambulance just pulled up, that's what this product is for.
Phil, can you stack this along with the plan enhancer and get benefits under both plans?
You can, but we won't allow them to duplicate that. So I have them both in the card here, but they can't duplicate the sickness hospitalization rider with the hospital expense, even though they're in the card here. So and honestly, you didn't want to like double cover your customer. So technically, I would take this one off. I would leave the hospital expense. I would go back to the accident, and I would just do same $5,000 benefit, and then I would just select cancer, heart, stroke in a case like this, and click add. So now my cart is pretty cleaned up. This product does ask health questions. Okay. Let me see if I can show you the questions. Well, it asks 3 questions. The one is, has your doctor recommended that you get surgery or testing that you haven't had completed yet? So we don't want to buy a claim. So if they've been recommended to get something done, this isn't going to help them. Okay. But they answer the 3 questions. No, it's a simplify issue application. We automatically issue the coverage. So it's easy to get. It's another 5-minute application. Can we talk about dental?
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. And before you do the dental, Phil, just I know I'm going to get this question, and I'm like, between one or the other, between the plan enhancer or the hospital expense, if we're having to pick one, what would you pick and why?
Well, I like the plan enhancer because it's all guarantee issue. So here's the thing. Most agents, they tackle the health first because that's the thing that's most pressing for the customer, right? Customer wants to try and save money, get a better plan, get a different network, like whatever's going on with the customer. The last thing I want to do, so I'm always going to mention these supplemental benefits, and I prefer to mention them up front. It would sound like this. Hey, Lewis, no matter where you're going to get coverage, like today, I'm putting you on an ACA plan, right? But next month or next week, you could wind up getting on employer-sponsored insurance. But to be frank with you, unless you're working for the government, you will always have an out-of-pocket that has to be satisfied. And this product can go with you wherever you go. So I like the plan enhancer because if I don't start, I like to start with the supplemental products and do the health after, right? And what I say is, hey, no matter where you go, you're going to need something like this. So do you mind if we start with this, right? That's the way the professional agents, the people that sell this on every single policy they sell, they start in the beginning. But if you're new to this, you know, it's human nature for you to maybe just start with the medical and then mention this before your customer walks out the door. And if you're doing it that way, I love the plan enhancer because we don't have to worry about health questions. I just need you as a customer to read the brochure or read the exclusions in your read the whole policy if you can, but certainly read the exclusions. Know what you're getting yourself into, but it's guarantee issue and it's easy and it's done. If the customer tells me, hey, I'm okay with accidents, I really need a strong hospital benefit, I would probably switch over to the, click the fixed indemnity tab and scroll down and talk about hospital expense. It's 3 health questions, so it's not the end of the world. But I do like plan enhancer. It's easy and it keeps you moving.
Okay, got it.
Such a long-winded answer to your question. I'm so sorry. Okay.
Okay,
So
no, that's good enough for me.
yeah. So for those of you who don't know, we have a no waiting period dental plan. I've been doing this a really long time. I've never seen a lot of the individual dental plans are a money grab. Your customer is going to pay more into the insurance company in the form of premium than they're ever going to get back in the form of claims payments. This product is an exception. So you do need to use the network. The network is excellent. The network is Aetna. Okay. This is turned on nationally for service. So this is going to have dentists in every state. And I've had very few complaints. The only place that I know the network's thin is Wyoming. So unless you're working in Wyoming, this is going to work. I have this up here if you want to write it down. I'm not going to keep it up super long, but don't take Phil Mishler's word for it. Write down this link, check it out for yourself, and you will be able to see how strong the network is. But the product is unbelievable. So there's a few options here. So this is our biggest seller, is the copay plan 2. I have a brochure I'll show you in a second, but this is what you need to know, folks, is this plan has no maximum. So it's unlimited. You can use it all year long if you wanted to. What I really like about it is it has very fixed copays. So in year 1, your customer has a $125 copay for inexpensive dental treatments and a $500 copay for expensive treatments. We delineate them and call them tier 1 and tier 2, but essentially it's less expensive, more expensive. I just got a crown a month ago. And when I found out how much my crown was, is the person behind the desk told me how much money I owe. But if I had the copay plan 2, and trust me, I paid more than $500 for my dental treatment. What the copay plan 2 does is it provides dental treatment certainty to your customer. They know what they're going to pay. It's important to note that if they do more than one procedure, like let's say I'm going in, I'm getting my teeth clean, I'm getting a cap or a crown, which typically they won't do in the same visit, but let's just pretend they could. And I'm making this up, a root canal. I'm getting 3 different services. Your customer will pay 3 separate copays. But I love it because the network's strong, it's turned on nationally, it has no maximum, and it has fixed copays. That's why I love it. Now, what's cool about it is in the state of Texas and most states, if I bundle this with any other product, right, I could buy a $5 accident plan and also put this Select Dental in the cart, which I'm going to do right now. So we call the series Select Dental. This particular plan is called Copay Plan 2. Mm-hmm. It is no waiting period. We offer any day effective dates. So if you meet your customer at a cocktail party this weekend and they tell you they don't like their dental insurance and they got something they got to take care of, you could sell this to them on Monday morning and use Tuesday as the effective date, and they could start getting their teeth fixed on Tuesday. So when I click add, it's going to ask me if I want vision. I'm going to show you the brochure in a second. The vision is Avisus. None of you have ever heard of Avisus. Mm-hmm. Avisus is owned by Guardian Life Insurance Company. So if you've been in the business a while, you know Guardian's a good company. They have every major chain in America, including Sam's Club and Walmart. So it is an excellent vision plan. You got level 1, level 2. In this case, I'll just pick level 1 and I'm going to click add. Now, what you're going to see is the hospital expense protection plan went down because if you sell another product with this, it gives you the multi-product discount. So I just got a $6 discount here. For the dental, I added the vision. If I took the vision back off, you'll notice with a 15% discount, I'm almost getting the vision for free. So it's an excellent way. There are other dental plans, so I will briefly describe these. Well, actually, we're going to look at the brochure. What I want you to be careful of is every single thing you're looking at here is no waiting period except for copay plan 1. That one has a $3,000 maximum, which is pretty attractive. But copay plan 1, does have a 6-month wait for major. So you're always better just going to copay plan 2, no wait, unlimited max, and it has fixed copays. The copay plan also has fixed copays, and they're actually less than copay plan 2, mostly because it's a 6-month wait. So let's just quickly look at the brochure. Let's see, in the brochure, in the middle, there's this grid. So in addition to the copay plans, we also offer Value Plus and Prime. I always like to promote the richest benefit. So this would be the Prime plan. The reason I like it is it starts at a $2,000 maximum, but if you keep it to the 3rd year, which most people do, the maximum goes up to $3,000. It also covers orthodontics, but you're going to note that the orthodontics is only for children. We have a senior version we'll talk about on a different webinar that does implants and dentures for seniors, but for today, the ortho is just for children. And then if in the brochure, if you scroll down, it compares the copay plan 2 and the copay plan. Just remember, copay plan has that 6-month wait. It says 6 months. Okay. And if you decide you don't want a copay plan, just look at the rates again. If you take the Prime plan, it's a couple dollars less than the copay plan. So check the network out for yourself. If you like what you see, I'm just pull up the network again real quick. You can jot that down. It's kind of long, but it is a high value dental plan. Dental, for those of you who don't know, is the most asked. It's the most asked for supplemental product. So
Right.
if you're not selling these, if you're not used to having these conversations with your customer now, start with dental, right? And then make it easy to segue into some of these other products. It is now, is there anything else you want me to address on the dental?
No, and I
Okay.
agree with you. One of the things, guys, that when you're doing ACA, you need to know that those plans don't have dental and vision built in. Now, I do get some agents that are like, oh, it does have something. It is, if it does have something, it's pediatric, it's for kids, not for the adults. And it is, try finding a provider that will take that measly little dental, and which usually may be a checkup, and the vision, forget it. So I always tell agents, look, don't use your health insurance carrier and bundle up their vision and dental. Get a separate one. That way, if they decide they want to get rid of their dental and vision, it doesn't affect the ACA policy. If you bundle it together with the same carrier, then you're going to lose the entire piece of business. So I'd recommend always getting a separate one. Get it on the outside. I think that's huge. You're right, Phil. Dental and vision is the first cross sell that I do to ACA. The second one, and I'm so glad you said definitely the plan enhancer. That's my second cross sell. I do it all at the same time. Remember, this is not Medicare, guys. Medicare, you have to be very careful about cross-selling. Here, you just throw it all out at the same time and package it. Give them one price. The price of the ACA plan, the price of the dental and vision, and the price of the plan enhancer, and just tell them, my favorite go-to words are, most of my clients take this package. You got to realize that people like to say, they're human nature. the safety in the herd. Nobody wants to be that loner. You know, that's the exception to the rule. So, oh, most people take it. Well, I guess I should take it too. It's a sales technique. You've got to bundle it in there. And on top of that, not only are you helping your insureds out, but you're making a little extra dinero. Oh, yeah. Got a little extra money coming in. The commissions here are quick and they're good, guys.
Yeah, you're right. And you know, it's important to note, nobody's ever going, if you're waiting for somebody to ask you about this stuff, you'll be waiting a really long time. It is important just to mention very quickly, we do have an indemnity dental. Okay. And the reason you might want to consider this one is simply because the customer can use any dentist. And for those of you who aren't aware, I just became aware of this recently. There's a movement in most states in America where some dents, it's not an epidemic, but it's starting, is that some dentists are dropping out of networks. And the reason that they're dropping out of networks is because the reimbursements to the dentists haven't been raised in years and years and years. They're still getting paid on the same fee schedule from 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, right? And everyone's got to get paid at the end of the day. So if you find that your customer's dentist doesn't take anybody's insurance, consider our dental indemnity plan and allow them to use any dentist of their choice. If they buy the richest plan, which is the plus plan, they get a $1,500 maximum. It is a 6-month wait. I'm not going to kid you on that one. They got to wait 6 months for major. The preventive and basic is covered right away. I own this plan myself in the past. It's good coverage if your dentist isn't in anybody's network. And you will see some other options that say plus network savings card. Basically, if you give us an additional $3, we're going to give your customer access to a suite of well, we're going to give your customer access to the Dentamax network, which they're stretch their dial a little bit further. And it also, in this savings network, is VSP vision discount. So if you've been in business a while, you might be familiar with VSP as being a premier provider in the vision area. That extra $3 will deliver discounts on vision services to your customer. Now, if your customer's concern is, hey, Phil, I'm concerned, I got a family history of cancer. I don't have cancer, but I'm kind of worried about it. So in most states, and specifically in Texas, we have a critical illness product with a term life insurance rider. So if I click on it, these are high dollar amount benefits, okay? So, and it works very similar to the CHS benefit in the plan enhancer, in so much as we pay these amounts out upon diagnosis, not treatment. So, you know, I hate to quote statistics, but more than half of the people you sit with in a week have a family history of cancer.
Yep.
Some families, the cancer's so bad, your customer knows they're going to get cancer. So if you know you're going to get cancer, you can protect yourself. And you can see here with the critical illness product, you can get 25,000 to 100 grand. I'm not going to kid you. It's not free, right? There's some premium involved here, but this could be a lifesaver. You will offer this to some people sometimes, and they're going to come across and hug you because a lot of people didn't even know that a product like this exists. So it does ask health questions. So in order to be eligible, they just have to check no. You can't screw it up because if you check yes, it's just going to say not eligible. So
Right.
It's a nice add-on for someone that either knows they have a family history of it or they're just plain scared of becoming critically ill. The critical illness pays out for a bunch of different conditions, and it does come with a 10-year term life insurance rider that matches whatever face amount you buy for the critical illness. So I thought it was important to mention that. And then in most states, including Texas, we also sell cancer, heart, stroke standalone. So the difference really between the critical illness is going to pay out for up to 15 conditions. Cancer, heart, stroke's only going to cover, the 3 really important ones that can happen to your customer.
Bill, can you click on that critical illness to see what those conditions are?
Yeah, I got to pull up a brochure. I haven't that's the only brochure I didn't pre-download. So give me just a quick moment here. Let's see how fast the computer could work. All right. There we go. Okay, so. Oh, wait, did you say you wanted to see the health questions? Or you want to see more
No,
detail?
no, the conditions that are covered, the
Oh,
critical
okay.
illness conditions.
All
There,
right, here we
there
go.
we go.
So, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. I think I didn't actually count it, but I'm pretty sure it's close to 15. So it's going to pay out for all these different conditions, and it's a full benefit for the conditions in the top, and then it's a partial benefit for the conditions here at the bottom.
Got it.
So it's another way. It's just a conversation, and I think it's important to mention, certainly if you're new to doing this, the ground rules are pretty simple. Everyone is not a buyer for this, but it really is if you love your customers, it really is up to you to initiate the conversation and offer it. We have too many agents, and I spend most of my weeks working on this in a particular year. We have a lot of agents that sell a lot of ACA individual plans. But the key is to have this conversation and to at least offer these products. Once I started doing it when I was an agent by myself, what I learned is the very first person that I offered accident coverage took it. They didn't even know that existed. And they had kids that were flipping over the handlebars on the bicycle all the time. And they're spending, and if you just listen to your customer, like I live in a family with a bunch of young wrestlers. Mom's at the urgent care twice a week with wrestling injuries. I mean, there's lots of opportunities here. And again, we'll make this available on a group list bill basis with a minimum 2 people. So I know you folks are doing the individual ACA, but who knows? You might run into a situation where we could offer this on a group list bill. Group list bill simply means that the employer agrees that we are allowed to bill them each month for the premium for these products. So instead of paying via credit card or checking account, the employee gets to have that removed from their check when they get paid. And if they're smart, if the employer's smart, they'll do it on a pre-tax basis. And there's a benefit to both the employee and to the employer. What else? What else?
I think that's good, guys. So
Okay.
here's the final on this thing. A couple of things. Number one, as Phil said, if you really love your customer, all you've got to do is throw it out. What's the worst case, Phil?
They're going to say no. They're going to say, "Hey,
Oh,
I'm maxed out. If I buy this, I'm going to have to give something else up." Right? It just, so everyone's not going to be a buyer, but if you don't mention it, you're making a decision for the customer, and that's not good. And if you're successful with this, and you will be, and if you need help, you call either one of us. I'm not going to say you could double your commission, but you'd be making more money than just selling the ACA plan, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're helping your customer.
Yep. And just throw it out there, guys. They can say no, and really it just means not now. You're right.
Right.
I'm tapped out, but you know what? Maybe next month, next year, hey, let's revisit it. Okay, that's
Yeah.
number one. Number two, guys, if you don't have the Allstate Health Solutions suite of products, everything that just Phil talked about, what I want you to do is hit me up, guys. Down below, click on the description. My email is there. And what I would do is I'll send you over contracting. I think it's taking a couple of days, Phil, to get contracted and
Next day. Next day.
day.
You type for 5 minutes today. Your appointment goes live the next day. And then me or someone from my team will reach out and say, what level of training do you need? Right? Like if you're new in the business, we'll help you. Right? All of us, my team has over 100 years combined experience in the health insurance space. Group medical, individual medical. If you got your license yesterday, we will hold your hand and help you.
Beautiful. So guys, get out there, offer it, makes a little money. And most importantly, let's take care of our insurance completely. Phil, thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate it.
You. Appreciate
All right.
you. Thank you so much.
You're
Bye
welcome.
now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.